another major development, US has carried out fresh strikes on Houthi-linked targets in Yemen, and US says that a radar station was targeted in the strikes. Yemen's official media has also confirmed multiple strikes in the capital Sana'a, and this a day after US and British forces targeted dozens of Yemeni sites. US Central Command said that the latest strike was conducted by the USS Karne using Tomahawk land attack missiles, and US says that these strikes in Yemen have no association with and are separate from Operation Prosperity Guardian, a defensive coalition of over 20 countries against Houthi attacks operating in the Red Sea, Bab el-Mandeb Strait and Gulf of Aden. Now, Houthi officials have called out Washington, saying that they are ready for an open war. And US military says that the rebel group has launched an anti-ship ballistic missile in retaliation for the strikes in Yemen. Now, while the missile did not hit any ships, the US Navy has warned American-flagged vessels to stay out of areas around Yemen in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden for the next 72 hours. The strikes are in response to the attacks on Red Sea shipping carried out by the Iran-backed fighters, which they say is a response to the war in Gaza. Now, the Houthis say that at least 5 people died and 6 injured in the first round of strikes backed by US and UK, which targeted 30 sites with more than 150 munitions. US President Joe Biden says that he does not believe any civilian has died in the strikes. He described the Iran-backed group as terrorists and earlier warned to retaliate further if Houthis continue with their quote-unquote outrageous behavior. Now, Biden says that his administration has delivered a message to Iran and that Iran knows not to do anything. The US president says he does not want a war with Iran, which is seen as a huge risk ahead of presidential elections. On the other hand, Iran has strongly condemned the attack and has warned that it will fuel insecurity and instability in the region. Iran's foreign ministry said that the attacks are a clear violation of Yemen's sovereignty and territorial integrity and a breach of international laws. Meanwhile, the United Nations Security Council on Friday discussed the war in Gaza and the strikes on Yemen. The UN Secretary General reiterated that attacks against international shipping in the Red Sea area are not acceptable, while Russia strongly condemned the strikes and said that they amounted to an irresponsible adventure and risk across the entire West Asia. Now, China also shared concerns over a regional spillover with the strikes, and the attack in Yemen has triggered huge protests. Thousands have gathered in the capital. In the Houthi rebel-controlled Yemeni capital, demonstrators were seen bearing Palestinian flags, placards of the Houthis' official slogan, and pictures of their supreme leader. While these are the scenes from the Yemeni city of Udaydah, thousands of people, some carrying rifles, gathered for a demonstration. In Tehran, several students and residents burnt flags as they demonstrated outside the British embassy.
نزل